Hey Molly, I just wanted to respond to your post because I completely agree that education is so vital. I think what you're saying about starting it really young, it's really good as long as it is like age appropriate, comprehensive sex education. I think even expanding on that, it needs to be sex education that is for all sexualities. In Arizona, we have like AR-15, whatever it is, and at Planned Parenthood, we call it no promo homo, which means that you can't talk about homosexual sex in any sort of or positive light. If you talk about it at all, you don't have to talk about it. You have to talk about it negatively. So you can't promote it. So you can talk about it and say, even if it's a lie, there's no safe way to have homosexual sex, there's no safe way to, etc., etc. So I think making the sex ed not only comprehensive, starting it younger, explaining, good touches, bad touches, and all of that, but also bringing it to the level of, there are other sexualities, and this is how you have safe anal sex. This is how you have safe oral sex. This is what a dental dam is. It's so important. And at Planned Parenthood, we really try to promote that, and we have a whole sex education department where we go to school boards and we try to convince them to adopt our comprehensive sex education because they can. Though Arizona is abstinence-only education, the school boards have their decisions to make about sex education. But because of the no promo homo law, we are not allowed to promote homosexuality, which is disgraceful, right? We're leaving a lot of our children out to become sick, to become, maybe unknowing about their own bodies, about their own sexual experiences, and trying to overcome these derogatory terms about sex and what's good sex and what's bad sex. Maybe even teaching whatever sex, as long as it's safe, legal sex, that's good sex. And here is how it should be done, because it's just like the idea about abortion. Like, abortion's going to happen regardless. It's either going to be safe and legal or illegal and unsafe, right? The same kind of principle applies with education. You're going to give the correct education and there's going to be safe sex, or you're not going to give the correct education and there's going to be unsafe sex. And we're already seeing a proliferation of sexually transmitted infections, somewhere around 19 million new cases a year, and those are in about ages 15 to 24. So starting it young is so important. Because we're seeing so much reoccurrence of STIs, we're starting to see antibiotic resistance in strains that would have been curable before. So I completely agree, and I think past what you're saying, let's make it comprehensive for gender identity, sexual identity, and you can. It's not an opt-in thing. It's an opt-out thing. If you really want to opt out, you can, because we're all about choice. But on the same hand, sex is going to happen. It's going to happen. Most people are going to have sex. And if our young people are not educated, they could really hurt themselves and possibly damage not only their fertility for their future, but their futures in general. The sex education should also take on the facets of being something that talks about healthy relationships, good touches, bad touches, what no means no is, what consent is. What is consent? I really like to ask men I start dating, if you marry someone and they don't want to have sex with you, can you still have sex with them, right? A lot of people think, once you're married, consent isn't a thing anymore. So really delving into those topics as well. But I completely agree with your post, and I really appreciate everything that you had to say, and I hope you have a good one.